Well, hello everybody. This is a major video. I took 2 days off of residential school genocide on the weekend as multiple crown-loving, disgusting neo-nationalists slash Nazified human beings begin to propagate in the media. The story by Rebel News alleging CTV is in gross violation, yada, yada, yada. Residential school genocide is not what's being portrayed. I'm going to give you the real numbers, real, credible, verifiable numbers, not only by the entire UNSCP5, but cemented from Russia and the United States of America, regardless of Joe Biden, who will not come forward to do any such things that National Post and rebel media like to push, specifically Sheila Gunn Reid and one Conrad Black. I can go through an entire history going through Rebel News, the National Post, outline all the atrocious news stories these pushers of the crown continue to infect all Canadians with. We can go back in time to Patrick Brazeau, who was a First Nations MP. A lot of First Nations don't like him. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm going to be honest. He's not well liked, but he gave up over 25 pounds. I spent 10 years of my life boxing through amateur. I fought to get with Team Canada. I didn't make the box off. I lost to an American. I was off that team. I went through the Cougar Gym in Edmonton. The coach, Larry Fleming, he was one of my coaches, as well as the amateur president of the Amateur Boxing of Canada. I went through all of it. Provincials, nationals, even attempted to get on Team Canada. In 1996, I didn't make it. I lost. Didn't have a great boxing record. I went on to go pro. My career was short-lived. However, I fought as a heavyweight. I know what weight classes are what throughout the Commonwealth. How much weight was given up for Justin Trudeau. The whole political propaganda. It was an insane fight. A boxer versus someone who never boxed, giving up 20, 30 pounds. Now, the public loves that stuff. They don't care about the cost to the people involved. All propaganda. National Post, Conrad Black, Rebel News, which wasn't yet there, but absolutely we see the leader, one Ezra Levant, all involved in it as all their hopes for the crown crushed. Justin Trudeau goes on, who is very much tied in with the same people as Ezra Levant and Conrad Black, both National Post, Rebel News. These are disgusting shit human beings, lovers of the crown, massive propagandists. They confuse and mislead Albertans every day of their lives. They call it conservatism. Guess what, folks? Real conservatism has nothing to do with any neo-nationalism. That is a Nazification from the crown colonial systems. There are a pile of countries, 75% of the world gravitates to these actions. As I published, there are 74 nations with genocidal, homicidal maniacs at the helm today, all tied in with the same financiers of Rebel News and, of course, National Post. They get staged, they get press pass, they get it all when many other independent medias don't get any. And I'm going to tell you, folks, that is called swearing your oath of allegiance to a divinity of a person. They're your gods. These people get paid handsomely well. Many Canadians fall for their propaganda and give them all their money. Did you know that I had an offer from multiple countries? One is the United States of America, another through Russia just very recently, to escape all the bullshit, head on my way out to Canada, and never have to look back. I chose the hard road, the road of the common man, fanfare of the common man. That's who I am. I'm no hero. I'm no greatness to society. But I can tell you this, folks. 4,000 out of 100,000 students in that exact number died of tuberculosis. In those same time periods, less than 200 out of 100,000 Canadian children died of tuberculosis. And guess what? When you cross-reference all the same years for Canadian Indian children in the public school system or off reserve, that families had left the reserve or were enfranchised, they all died at the same rate as every other Canadian child through the tuberculosis years, but not residential school genocide years. The entire world has it. China has it. All of the UNSCP5 members have it. There is no getting out of this. But hear me and hear me good. Conrad Black, Rebel News, and Sheila Gunn Reid through Ezra Levant try to tell you a fake story of history saying, oh, it's not like that, and oh, we're all on the hook for this genocide. It wasn't our lifetime. Never once did the motherfucker Ezra Levant, Sheila Gunn Reid, his little sidekick, or the piece of shit, national piece of shit, Conrad Black, highly paid through the Bank of England, sponsored the entire media through our crown politicians, Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, and even now the CPC under whichever leader we're going to see come forward, whether that's Pierre Poilievre or whoever else, doesn't matter, because all the parties have a 5 legally membered registered board. There is no democracy in any of those parties, not federally, not provincially. Every Canadian is given a load of shit that the real world, the rest of the world, even in big conflicts, has all of the documentation and the real numbers released. They do. It's up to your filthy, fucking corrupt government to take care of business. Do you know what the average Canadian Indian got? Between $10,000 and $5,000 to have a priest take a child and ram his penis through their anus or through their vagina, forced to give oral sex, and if you didn't, you often got your head bashed in or split open and left to bleed out and die. Others were thrown in with TB infected wards. That is the truth. When you look at numbers, 2,000% higher for Indian children in residential schools versus the rest of society, it's not hard to figure out what's truthful and what's not. The whole world, real world, sees Canada for what it is. Now Canada says, hey, it's okay, we quit the ICJ, we pay the media, we have our own International Commission of Jurists, not the real ICJ, because we wouldn't last 10 minutes in there. The politicians would be shot down, just like South Africa. Go look it up, 1985. That is the country Canada. Not a little amount of time. USA went through limited in the northern states with this too. But where did it come from? British Quebec. Old boundaries. Go look at your history books and your boundaries. Now, nobody wants that truth out. Nobody wants to acknowledge America first and the end of all American Indian Wars, 1924. And we watched coming out of the grossness of World War I, and the USA was already transforming itself, already on the path to real justice. 50 states, federalism, a major undertaking. Did it happen as fast as it could? I believe so. When you look at world history, that was an incredible rate of speed to have everything solved, signed, sealed, certified by absolutely 1975. Now, Canada never went through that, only by force from the UNSCP5. Reporters reporting Canada's take, Canada's narrative, which puts all the third-class citizens who had absolutely nothing to do with residential genocide, on the hook financially for absolutely all of those crimes against humanity. Highest rates of crimes against humanity in the entire world. Media of the time, the liars attached to Crown, the same liars who are alive and well today, in love with the royal family. You'll never hear Ezra Levant and all his neo-nationalist, Nazified fortifications in resounding publications, or Conrad Black, who does the exact same thing. You'll find most of CBC does too. Now, stories have been released, very limiting. What the world has recorded and what Canada propagates are two very distinctly different things. Let me ask you folks, what do you think's a fair settlement for the survivors of residential school genocide? $5,000 to $10,000? You're never going to get the children back. You're never going to change the absolute history of your family today and all the negative impacts it had. Think of the abuse those children brought home. Horrific. We all know the truth. Any real Canadian, any world citizen knows the truth, even in their own families, of the uncle perverts and the others attached to our families. We all have some kind of history of it in our families. Never mind, imagine a whole clear set after set generation of children coming home completely warped and transformed into literally Commonwealth genocidal, self-hating, culture-hating, genocidal maniacs themselves to a degree. What's happened to the First Peoples was crafted, created, it's very old because it's the first Nazi Germany. Now we have news media saying, oh, look, they have to be punished. Oh, it's all for Trudeau. Trudeau's guilty. His whole family's guilty. His father, him, all of them. But so are all the Conservatives, all the NDP, the Bloc attached. This goes beyond all times. All the politicians got away with literally genocidal murder, rape, massive atrocities, the worst kind of atrocities in the world we see today. It's still all over the world. It's still being completed by absolutely the worst kind of colonial powers today. Still hasn't changed much. It's been limited a lot by certain members of the P5 who are at each other's throats right now. I'm angry. I had to take the 2 days, folks. I got all your messages. I got a lot of public messages about everything. This is my video tonight. Tomorrow we continue on. I'm not going to allow the media to keep corrupting the truth. We'll see fanfare of the common man. It is in appeal right now. We're going to see. Does the Bank of England, London, the royal family, guys like Conrad Black and rebel media, Ezra Levant, Sheila Gunn-Reid, who commits atrocious fabrications in my home province of Alberta. Just terrible. Folks, think about that. Think about this. The day that Justin Trudeau kicks in your fucking door, says hand over your children, they're going to Trudeau's school, and you're not going to see him again till we say you can. Who knows when that will be? Oh, by the way, this is the RCMP. If you resist, your husband will be beaten, arrested. Hey, fuck, we're going to rape your wife if she resists. Yeah, there's 6 of us. We'll drive over children with the tires that get in the way. They try to run. We'll shoot them. This happened. This history ain't going anywhere. It's all over the colonial world. Any idiot propagating that kind of news at this stage of the game, you got to be some kind of sick, crown-loving narcissist, deep-seated psychopath who's getting paid absolutely by the same people, the NWO, I fight each and every day that I present residential school genocide. Canadians, all of you, all First People, there is only one way to fix Canada, and I don't believe that's in revolution, not for Canada. Look at Ireland, and they went through it a lot longer than you all did. You want to talk about the wealthy elite coming in and fucking your wife-to-be? Him and all his friends get a first round Think about that for your wedding present. That was the crown wedding present. I can't make these kind of histories up. The atrocity goes on and on and on. Summary convictions. Canada, we don't have the death penalty. Oh yeah? Cops kill people all the time. Ordered to kill people all the time. All the time. All the time. Happens all the time. Anyone who says Canada doesn't have a death penalty is a moron, a liar, and doesn't really look at the world and their country as it really is. Summary convictions, the death penalty is administered in Canada much more frequently by law enforcement than ever in all of U.S. history, even going back to the Wild West. Look at the numbers, because that's what I do. I don't make shit up. I go with the numbers, I go with the truth. These attacks, these propagandas, this telling Canadians, it's okay, we're going to borrow, pay a small sum, it's massive for you, the common people. It comes at extensive cost. We're going to pay off the chiefs, us, the first class, and put all of you on the hook for all of our atrocities, and we're going to keep doing it. Oh, by the way, we're never going to settle Canada. We're not going to be like the United States or the Soviet Union or even China. We're going to be 10 times worse because we're a 950-year-old system, the worst one of its kind, still alive today. Most of the others are gone. There's only a handful left, Canada being absolutely the worst one. For all those who follow me and try to justify the sovereignty transfer of the Canadian people and all the First People of Canada to a foreign power across the ocean, I'm sorry, there's no justification. You can come up with the greatest colorful words. Green this, environment that, oh, education this. Forcing your beliefs, your education, because you think it's imperative that people follow what you say when you say it. Do what you do no matter what their beliefs are, no matter what their history is. If they're not hurting other people, what does it matter what their development level is? What does it matter if they don't believe in what you believe in? Who does it matter who loves who? If they're not interfering in your life, who gives you the right to determine how people live? Well, Canadians let their government do it to them every day. Every other week they craft a new law that says you can't have this, you can't do that, you can't believe in this, oh, we're going to crucify this. It's been done by peoples over and over and over and over and over again in Canada. The world knows it's true, guys. There's no getting out of it. We're in line with the worst countries in the world. We're getting there. We've always been there. Again, we only have tremendous wealth because we have massive resources that aren't ours, even though it says they're ours. Show me a constitutional document of any province cementing the ability of the people to utilize them. There isn't. In fact, there's all kinds of laws why you can't. It all goes back to the crown. Who's the crown? There's a provincial and federal crown division of powers. Your premier, his cabinet, a secret one that he picks. Sure, you have your MPs, but they don't make the decisions. They don't write the laws. They get to vote on them. If they don't vote the right way, they're fired out of the party. It's every party that does this. They're all built the exact same. They can lie to you, tell you they have other narratives. They can promise you the world. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. 200,000 barrels is all we're going to increase production. It goes to the States and then is sold back to Ontario at a much, much higher cost. It's discounted from Alberta. Right now, the war machine's ramping up to take all the highly enriched uranium ore out of Saskatchewan, parts of Alberta through the Athabasca and into the Northwest Territories are ramping up. The potash from Saskatchewan, the perfect mix for nuclear weapons. Canada's going to give it for pennies on the dollar because Canada's not allowed to use it. It's a gift to all of the G7, the G20, and many others. Contrary again to international law, because Canadians have zero sovereignty. You gave it to the crown, and in exchange for that, your provincial and federal politicians get their division of powers who don't have to operate in any real democracy. You get an illusion of democracy. The only democracy you get is to vote who's your next dictator. And they will do whatever they want contrary to what they've ever said. All Canadians and First Peoples know this to be true. We can lie, we can deny, we can pretend none of it's real, but it most certainly is real. There is only one way out of the system. I said revolution's not on the table. Look at Ireland and many others. Revolution loses 9 times out of 10 every time. Look at just the convoy protesters. Now, I didn't support their fake narratives, but I did like the highlights it brought forward. I'm not going to lie. It sure highlighted the atrocity, autocracy of the Crown, the lack of democracy. It shows that the Crown will administer any punishment they wish to administer any time they want, regardless of the law, because they own the law. The law is sworn to the Crown. How do they get to keep this crown? People ask me, well, how is Canada able to do this? Because a deal was struck with the royal family. Stephen Harper signed off in 2012, folks, regardless of all his bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And the National Post, you can read all Conrad Black and his stories of those 2-year periods. Oh, no, we're not. And then they just roll over. Conrad Black doesn't say a word. He gets paid by the Bank of England. National Post financed by the Bank of England. Government pays their news stories. He's a piece of shit. He is loyal and sworn to the royal family, sworn to the crown. How does Canada get away with it? In exchange for these provincial and federal crown powers that your politicians stole in 1952, the federal and provincial governments all together agreed, we will give the royal family back all their powers over Canada in all international law and all international relations. Who cares what's legal or not? Protect us, UK, as a P5 member. Keep vetoing any attempt by USA, Russia, or China to stop it, and allow us to reign supreme. I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. We will fuck all Canadians and genocide all the First Peoples. We'll keep this going. We'll keep immigration to the maximum, highest recorded levels in the world per person per capita. We will be the Nazi Germany of today. We will be the colonial empire of the day, the 3rd largest financer per person per capita in the whole world. In fact, we outfinance India, 1.4 billion people. We spend more money on that than we do our obligation to NATO. 1.4%, not even 2% of our GDP. We give more to the crown, more to colonial empirism against the law in the world, to have a silent war against the United States of America, the Soviet Union, which is now the Federation of Russia, to keep them fighting so that the crown gets stronger. What the fuck does Canada have to do with Russian trade? Why are we 3rd largest proven reserves in the world? The Great Lakes of natural gas under the province of Alberta can power all LNG for all of Canada for pennies on the dollar, but we don't. Oh no, we don't. Because that would ruin the crown, the foreign government of the royal family, and all of the corruption and the financing of the NWO. We are in energy poverty. There's no reason to be. We're in food scarcity. Just like many other countries, we don't get to choose our crops because subsidies say, do this crop or go tits up. And it'll become a state or large monopoly farm. Alt-right, alt-left, pick your poison. The government's administering all of this for all of you. We lose more and more farmland. Farmers continue to shrink through the entire history 1867, all the way till now. You will never find a year where agriculture goes up. Agriculture goes down. Energy, food, scarcity, poverty. Two things you don't fuck with. We have zero control of our value and supply chains. In fact, we don't have any. It's called whomever is touched with the crown. That's all you get. Canada doesn't run its own supply and value chains. Absolutely none for the primary sector. None viable. None even legal today. We haven't had real primary sector supply and value chains by Canada, for Canadians since absolutely 2020. No government's going forward with it. Trudeau says, fuck it. Your opposition, Aaron O'Toole, said, fuck it. Candice Bergen says, fuck it. Pierre Poilievre says, fuck it. He says he's a great expert. He talks so great, so tough. Except for he never highlights any truths with any of you. No real economics, no fundamental problems that are to be highlighted. He's a piece of shit. He is Justin Trudeau B. Justin Trudeau's A. Jagmeet Singh is C. There is no difference, only which preferred first-class groupings are with each party. They all make deals, but it's all for the first class. None of it is for any of you. People bragging about, but this education, we're going to do this, and the Green New this, and none of those agreements in any of those countries ever benefited the people at all, except for led to energy, poverty, food scarcity, and absolute slavery. A staple of the crown. Don't ever fool yourself. Nothing is free. Get that out of your head. Your public central banks, which is owned by each and every one of you, the citizens, in direct control of the government, the first class against you, that's a staple of all Commonwealth, unitary, and many other dictatorial full tyrant states. Canadians, the NWO is your country. It's all the politicians and absolutely most of the mainstream media. If they got a press pass, they're in with the crown. I'm sorry. That's the truth. Your donations, you donate, you send money, you're only financing your own destruction. Now, for Mary Catherine, thank you for the email and the messages. Claire, thanks for the news stories. I want to get something off my chest for both of you. And I'm not going to go through last names. You're loyal followers for a very long time. I'm going to get something off my chest. Canadians, here's an example for you. I didn't agree with the convoy. I didn't agree with a lot of what was propagated there, okay? I felt it's propaganda, lots of it. I can prove a lot of it lies, but neither here nor there. What we're going to talk about is some travesties done to Canadians. They wrote to the Governor General, you got to get each and every one of those names, cross-reference for the financials, locked out all those accounts. Suckers. Never go to any of the Crown Colonials. None of them. That means provincially, never rat yourself out. You're not going to get any help there. Don't go to the federal Governor General, Lieutenant Governors of the province, and then Governor General federally. Don't go there. And the worst thing you could do is go to the Queen and the royal family. They're at the top of the food chain of this pyramid scheme, globally and worldwide. You go there, you're ratting yourself and your family out, and get ready for serious repercussions. Don't become victimized like all those who participated in the convoy, all those who wrote to the Governor General. Don't do yourself in. The days of the Crown, independent of our elected government, they're all one and the same now. Full-on autocratic supreme executive power. That's all you vote for. Your next dictator, who could be, on any given Sunday, the next Hitler, because we are in the exact same design system as was Nazi Germany. This is a fact. Not bullshit. This is real. Chancellor, Governor General, same exact powers, different nouns, same descriptions. You look it up in that dictionary of that time period, constitutionally written exactly like Canada. Canada was made first. That was a staple of colonies of the British Empire, one of the oldest ones, utilized by others, which included Germany, who was late stage to get involved, and when they did, look out. World War I, World War II, wars of colonials. Are the communists in there? Sure, I don't like communism. There's no secret. I'm not a commie. I would never want to be communist. I'm moving to the United States. What does that tell you? Anyone telling you I'm a commie? I'm a firm believer in republicanism. I enjoy the Republican Party, although not perfect. Donald Trump did make a boo-boo. He made one big boo-boo. He broke the Constitution of the United States of America. Republicans of the GOP, that is something you don't do. Mainstream Republicans never tolerate breaches in rule of law, because if you don't have rule of law, you don't have accountability, rules of governance. What are you, a Canada? A Nazi Germany? We can go on and on. There's a bunch of them still left alive today, but it is not my place to go through the other countries. But I will, in residential school genocide, to teach. And I'm going to start that up again tomorrow. This is my video. This is the truth. Most of your main media with their press passes are with the Crown. I know all about you, Ezra Levant. I've followed you for a very long time, even without one of your book signings, seen you in action. I read your book. You're nothing I want to be. You're just another Conrad Black. A piece of shit. That's the truth. I'm not scared of any of you because I'm a real boxer. I would knock the heads off of any one of you. What was done to Patrick Razou, whether people like him or not, was horrendous. Not a real fighter, not a boxer. That was child's play for Trudeau when they gave up 35 pounds. You ask any boxer over the weight class of 170, that's a tremendous amount of weight. I've done it myself too. It has major costs. It's not a man, that's a woman. Ezra Levant was all in that. He just loved that. Because he doesn't like Indians. He's part of the problem. Neither does Conrad Black. Thinks they're not human beings. Don't listen to these individuals because they don't want your freedom. Canadians, First Peoples, why this video is so important. Again, I'm going to go back to it because I never finished my thought on it. And we're going to conclude this video now is revolution doesn't really work. It has tremendous costs. More often than not, it never works. What does work is taking it to the world stage, as everyone who has been successful, whether that be independence or whether that be full reconstruction of your nation for the better. Real democracy in republicanism. Wouldn't that be something different for all people? Wouldn't you like to see the Crown lands divided between the First Peoples and Canadians, and all of a sudden there's no more Indian Act? First People are tremendously wealthy, but so is every Canadian. And you write rules of governance, how to govern, and absolute accountability. And your problems largely go away. All of a sudden the people aren't getting, children aren't getting that anymore, I can promise you that. But they most certainly were in all these crown colonial countries then and even now. You want to change things, Canadians? You really want to change things? Because I promise, it's not about right or left, NDP, Liberal. No, I believe in all these things. The people together, when you bring in the world's best experts to go through every country in the world in real history, what worked, what didn't, constitutionalism, you will all leave your parties behind, come together. I mean, there's always going to be the freak shows, people call it. But the vast majority of Canadians will mainstream. Some will be left, some will be right, some will be center, but it will be completely different than anything that Canada is now today. and in our past. Those atrocities will be over forever if done right. Can be done right. There's great examples out there in the world, still working to get it ironed out, but why not all the people participate in that? This is nothing that Ezra Levant wants, nothing CBC wants, National Post, that Conrad Black doesn't want. He's of royal. He's of that sovereignty given away to the UK. They think they're superior to all of you, all Canadians, all of you. They think they're a superior human being. Just look, they have a media company financed by you through the government. They think you're all too stupid to figure it out. They hate Americans. They hate everything America. Canadians in large margin hate Americans. That's a fact. I'm sorry that people won't be truthful about this, but when it comes down to it, America's highly, highly unpopular. Just as unpopular as Russia. Wonder why that is. Oh yeah, true federalisms. That's why. Power to the people and real constitutionalism in your division of powers. Something Canada doesn't have. We have a federalism, but it's an autocratic one. No rules of governance, know how to govern, and zero accountability. Politicians get elected, that's all you're allowed. Those are the only rights Canadians have. That's it, your only rights. Vote for your next dictator, because whatever they do is their choice. There's no rules to stop them. They get to do whatever they want. You're just one election away at any given time from electing a nutcase. That's the truth, the next Hitler. If it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen in either Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. It already has. You should see all the atrocities committed either domestically or in other regions and other places in the world. It's sick, it's depraved, it's got to stop. When are you going to call for it to stop, Canadians? When are you going to say, hey, enough's enough? I don't want this system anymore. That's the only way. That's the only way. We're trying to make a party, but we need people who realize this, know this, and are ready to step up to the NWO, which means abandoning all crown. There's a tremendous amount of wealth. 89% of Canada is not made available to any of the First Peoples or Canadians themselves. We could make a nation within a nation, one country. People talk about Turtle Island, land back. Land back for everybody, because there's no land for anybody right now but those filthy, corrupt, genocidal, perverse first-class citizens. They get all the benefits of socialism, all the benefits of capitalism, and you get all the bills, all the bullshit of socialism, all the bullshit of capitalism. That's not a system I want to be in. That's why there's no right or left to blame here. That's why Nazism, the Nazi party, just to this day, the biggest, hottest debate, was it alt-right or alt-left? Which one was it? The answer is it's all of it in one. It's a divine class structure. Divine socialism, divine capitalism for that first-class citizenry. And you remove all the rights as you go down to the third class, to the slave class, slavery, financial slavery, force you to work, keep reducing your standard of living, making you worse and worse and bigger, transferring the wealth up. They pay off all those around them in the international community. USA, Russia sit there, oh geez, I don't know what's going on. Hate Russia, hate USA. You ask the average Russian, they'll tell you they hate America. You ask the average American, they'll tell you, I hate Russians. You put Canada in there, either country don't focus on Canada. You know what Canada says? 1/3 nearly of all Canadians hate themselves, their country. That's great. Almost 1/3 hate Americans, and a little under 1/3 hate Russians. They say that's the problem. And we're seeing it in the media. But I know, because I did the poll, I did it with real Canadians, real Russians, real Americans. That's the truth. That's my video. Tomorrow we're firing up again. I needed the time. I needed to absorb. Because sometimes, even though the anger spews out, I hope it came out positively. I know my mouth goes potty. But this system's potty, folks. It is absolute shit, worse than shit, because it's inhumanity at its worst. Lying about the most atrocious crimes, publishing that. When are we going to deal with the class structure, the Nazification, the neo-nationalism, which is aka the Crown Customary Law of Canada, present, alive and well today, from 1867 to right now? We're not democratic. We're worse than Russia. We're worse than China in a lot of ways. Some aspects we're not, but a lot of ways we're worse. Where's our equality of person? There isn't any. We don't even exist in the Constitution of Canada. There are no regional constitutions, only the divine autocracy of any given elected premier. That's it. That's it. An appointed Senate federally, appointed Crown positions, Attorney General, Governor General, Lieutenant Governors of every province that usurp any time they want to pass a law. If the people don't like it, they don't present it to you. They call it an order in council. That's not democratic. Senate bills aren't democratic because they were never elected, they were appointed, and they're all sworn to the Prime Minister. One man. We're way worse than Russia. Anyone telling you you're better's a fucking liar. I'm sorry. This is my video. I'm sorry that the words may offend people, but you need to share. You need to hammer it home. We have to get the truth out. So many are not your friends. They're not. The media is not your friend. They get paid by the story. They call it opinion news now. The whole integrity of journalism isn't there anymore, folks. What you get is opinion. I don't want fucking opinion. I want journalism credible. You know, I will report the truth regardless, but that's not how it's done anymore. You don't get $10,000 a story if you go against the government, the Crown. Well, that means no news is ever going to be any good. Independent media, you don't get a press pass if you don't swear to the Crown. I know who you are, Conrad Black. I know who you are, Ezra Levant. You're not fooling me. You can fool all the Canadians. I know the problems of the Republican Party and those members who strive to destroy it. Fanatic alt-right. I know the problems of the Democrats currently in charge right now. The ultimate alt-left lunatic who is just like the alt-right because they're the same thing. You can have all state-sponsored bullshit or an oligarch of private enterprises led by the government. Pure capitalism, pure socialism. Guess what, folks? They're way at the top of the scale, and they actually meet each other because you go so far this way, you're going around the world, bang, right into the alt-left. That is the truth. It's always been the truth. The best minds in the world will tell you this truth, but often they can't. Just as I've been censored in 74 countries, representing 65% of the world population. No, don't let them know the truth. Off with their head, just like a lot of monarchs of the past. I don't profess to say revolution. I don't believe in that. I have a legal means to do that. I know how to destroy the Crown. My friend Susan in Barbados, a lawyer, proved it works. She just did it. Got the Governor General and turned the country into a republic, and now she's president. They're writing a constitution for the people, by the people. I think Canada could do much better. I have a system to do that. Not even a large cost. The cost of doing 13 referendums in each province and a Canada-wide. Seems fairly cheap. You're getting 1,000 referendums in one. A first-time education and cementing of the First Peoples in Canada. Treaty Indian, seated, unceded, Inuit, and Métis for the first time ever. And all Canadians when you look at the federal and regional. I think that's the best thing to do. There's no violence there. It brings people together in true unity. That is something the politicians don't want. No party wants that. I see every day the troll comments. People come forward. They use words. They do hate. They try to make it sound good and they throw in hate like they're going to bamboozle me into something. I'm just a man. I'm no Jesus, everybody. I'm not a God. I believe in God. I believe in the life of Jesus. I try to follow it as best I can, but I'm no better than anybody else, except for I tell the truth each and every day. I fight so hard to give you the real hard truth, and it's not easy. I'm getting persecuted in my own right, and I hope to be through that soon, but I don't know. We'll see. Thanks. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Monday we restart, day 7, story 7. I'm going to have to work out all my stories because there's literally hundreds of shocking, real, truthful stories. The National Post, Ezra Levant Rebel, we can go through CBC, Financial Post. The list will go on and on and on, folks. Dirty Joe Biden announced he's going to throw out Putin. He's a rogue regime and they got to take care of him in Poland. Not going well internationally. The international community is going, fuck you, Joe. Fuck you. The P5 are always saying, fuck you, Joe. Fuck you. He's a piece of shit, a lunatic. Even my mother, and I shouldn't bring others into this, but my mother said to me today, Joe Biden is a senile. You know what? Mom, he's just a crooked old bastard. That's what I believe. He's a crooked old bastard. I'm not going to give him any free limb of senility. I listened to his speeches. He's just that bought off, wicked piece of shit. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Bye now. We'll see you tomorrow.